Simpsons is far and away the longest-running animated TV series in the United States, as well as the longest-running scripted series. There's a lot that can be talked about with The Simpsons. I mean, this show is a freaking juggernaut, but I don't want to dig into that rabbit hole and end up forgetting the whole point of this video, which is the NES game, The Simpsons Bart vs. the Space Mutants. It was released by Acclaim in early 1991. The show was in the middle of its second season at the time of release, so at the time of development, which was done by Imagineering, there may have only been one season under their belts. At this time, the show was promoted very heavily around Bart, so naturally the video game would be too. So you play as Bart, who by chance discovers that aliens have invaded Springfield via his X-ray glasses that he got from a comic book. These aliens, or space mutants as they're called, I guess whatever planet they came from, they're actually mutated versions, I don't know. Anyway, these mutants have taken over the bodies of Springfield residents, and these X-ray spectacles allow Bart to see these creatures through the bodies of their hosts. And Bart, with the help of his family playing supporting characters, must stop this invasion before they finish building this machine that will help them take over the planet. To build this machine, the aliens load it up with a certain specific item. Like in the first level, they're hunting down anything that's purple, so your mission is to spray paint or cover up anything that's purple until they give up and move on to some other kind of item that also works to feed this machine. As you can tell by this point, the game is a side-scrolling platformer, and while there are some elements of combat, you're mostly collecting or spraying items while trying to avoid the mutants. You don't want to just avoid them, though. You want to free the people who are being controlled, so these passersby will wander around, and they won't hurt you, even if they're aliens, but you still want to free the people within them. By toggling the sunglasses, you'll be able to detect who is bullshitting you, and stomping them out will give you an item that adds a letter to the name of a family member. Collecting enough of these letters to spell out their name will summon them during the level's boss battle, giving you a hand in defeating the enemy. Careful though, don't just go around stomping out everyone. Some of them are real people, and stomping them will cost you a hit point, and you only get 2 of these before you lose a life, and you start out with 3 of these. So you only get 6 hit points to start with throughout the whole game. You get extra lives for every 15 coins you collect, although you do have to spend 10 of these coins once you hit that mark. The reason that's significant is that you can use these coins to buy certain items, power-ups, and play games at the carnival, which provide useful rewards if you win. It's not just Bart fucking off. You can also get extra lives by collecting the Krusty the Clown faces, and there's a short-term invincibility when you pick up the Jebediah Springfield heads. Pressing select will toggle around the different items you can use, although certain shooter items like the spray can or dart gun, you'll always be able to fire with the B button no matter what you have toggled, which in theory should make things less cumbersome, but sometimes it'd be nice to turn off the option to shoot when you accidentally fire it off while trying to take a longer jump. You have to press A and then B immediately after to get a long jump off, and while that will prevent you from shooting while making the jump, it's not hard to fuck it up when reacting quickly to enemies surrounding you, especially since you only get 2 hit points. Also, the fact that you hold A to gain momentum while running, the same button as jump, makes this whole mechanic awkward to operate. It just does not feel natural at all. Add in the fact that the controls are kinda loose, and landing on small platforms is a pain in the dick, it'll lead to frustration in just getting Bart to do what you want him to do. Add on to all of this the game's unforgiving difficulty. Even once you get the hang of controlling Bart, you still have to land jumps in very specific spots, solve cryptic puzzles, and do all of this with a running timer, forcing you to throw patience out the window and causing rushed deaths. Sometimes you get plenty of time, but it's just one of those things that really doesn't need to be there. That and the fact that you can't continue. Getting a game over forces you back to the beginning of the goddamn game, discouraging the player from wanting to bother completing it, because even these early stages are hard as shit. Now on the bright side, there are only 5 levels, but it's still a daunting task to get through the first one, let alone the whole friggin' game. Although to be fair, you don't have to collect every single item in a given level, The number that you have to collect is less than the amount of items in the stage, with the exception of the final stage. Also, the game looks pretty good too, especially the opening sequence that shows the family watching TV. The characters are hit or miss visually, like this is really supposed to be Mo, but the ones who do look the part are very recognizable. There are a lot of characters you'll wish were in the game, but that's mainly a casualty of when this game was made. Remember, this was very early in the Simpsons run, which could also account for how some of these characters look. The soundtrack is alright. You'll get a fine rendition of the Simpsons theme, but unfortunately it also plays in 2 of the levels, including the first one, so you're gonna hear it a lot. I do like the sound clips of Bart saying, "Eat my shorts," between levels and deaths. Eat my shorts. It's a pretty good voice sound for the NES, although you're gonna hate hearing it because, well, you're gonna die a lot, and he says that after every time he friggin' dies. Overall, Bart vs. the Space Mutants was a pretty good idea on paper, but the execution could have and should have been a lot better. We really should have gotten a port of the Simpsons arcade game instead. So the game starts off with a cutscene of Bart overhearing the inconspicuous aliens that land outside his house conspiring to take over the world by collecting purple objects that fuel their vague machine. So you start out with a purple trash can right away, but you need a spray can. So move on and you'll encounter this alien that bounces back and forth. Get up close and let him bounce over you. Walk under these vertical bouncy guys and use the window to get up here for a spray can. Now go back, spray the trash can, use it to swing your way up here for an extra life, and spray down this movie poster. You'll see these people walking by, use the X-ray glasses to detect if they're human or not, and jump on the ones who are in disguise. And make sure to ignore the ones who aren't. Hit up the phone booth to make a prank call to Mo. He'll get pissed and chase after you. Quickly spray his shirt and hop up on the clothesline to get away from him and cover up all the purple shit on the ground. There's a hidden extra life in the bush here. Spring your way up for a fresh spray can and spray the trash can. There are some hidden coins in the bushes here. Grab them, spray the fire hydrant, plant pot, and go into the tool shop to buy the wrench, which you can use on the hydrant to spray the awning on the door here. Stop at the novelty hut and buy some rockets, climb up here to spray the plant pot, pass the mutants to get the extra life, and head into the toy store to buy the magnet. Climb up here to spray the plant pot, across the window to a fresh spray can, spray the trash can, and use it to bounce your way up here so you can knock over the bucket of paint to colorize the awning, and hit up a plant pot. Throw the rocket in front of the pet store to scare the purple bird away, climb up here for a plant pot, grab the hidden coin in the bush, and spray this officer's uniform. I'm sure that's a crime, but this is the Springfield Police we're talking about, so I think you're gonna get away with this. Use the rocket to scare away the bird on the Jebediah Springfield statue, and make sure you stand very specifically in this spot to make it happen. Where's the clue for this? I don't know. The statue of Jebediah proceeds to talk to you, which is weird, but I think they wanted to slip in this little Simpsons reference in there, so fair enough. Hop on the skateboard and jump over all the dogs, mutants, and other skaters that try to fuck with you. Spray the fountain, and use a rocket to somehow change the color of the neon sign for the bowling alley. Then you've got a trio of these mutants that bounce at various intervals. Sprint underneath them when they're at their peak opening. Grab the hidden coins in the bushes, spray the fountain, and send the rockets into the windows to send the curtains back up. At least I think that's what's happening here. Then you'll run into the boss battle with Nelson, who throws rocks or tomatoes or something at you. Stay back, dodge his attacks, and when Maggie rolls the bowling ball in your direction, send it back to him. Repeat the process until he's done for, and you'll get a cutscene of the mutants changing course and hitting up the Springfield Mall to collect hats from people, as apparently this machine also accepts that for whatever it does to fuel it. There's one right here off the bat, and another on the floor. Grab them and let the tires or whatever these things are pass over you, and grab this hat. Hop on the moving platform and jump on it 3 times to take a ride over the deadly wet concrete and grab the hats along the way. There's a hidden coin and extra life in this trash can. Grab them and use the trash can to get to the hat up here. Pass the giant straws when there's an opening, and jump over this one since it stays down low, and grab this hat along the way. You'll get a mini boss battle with this guy. He'll throw something at you and reposition himself. Jump over it, jump on him to knock the hat off with him, which you can collect, and then just keep jumping on him until he turns back into the mutant form and FOs. Jump from the escalator up here for another hat before advancing to the second floor. Jump over the running shoes and use the trash as a boost to get the hat up here. Knock the hats off the passing customers. They'll pop up frequently throughout the stage and will more than cover the amount you need to finish the stage. There are 4 more hidden hats in this barrel, plus an invincibility. There's also an extra life and some coins in here, and there'll be some more shoes that bounce around similar to some of the mutants from earlier. Pass through when there's an opening and grab the hat. Wait for these shoes to drop down before going back up, and then pass through. Grab this hat, and let the shoes pass over you. There'll be another hat shortly thereafter, and you'll meet up with another mini-boss, the really big shoe, as the sign says. Keep your distance as it jumps back and forth, and stomp on him when he lands. After a few shots, he's all done. Grab the hats on your way up to the 3rd floor. Pass the mutants when there's an opening, grab the hats, and let these kids in a box jump over you, and jump over the ones that don't move. These rabbits will jump out of the hats. You can snatch the hats up while they're out of them. Just be quick about it, and let these handkerchiefs or ties or whatever they are float upwards so you can pass under them. Grab the coins out of all the trash cans and take these platforms across another concrete pit, grabbing the hat along the way. An invincibility will drop to the ground. Picking it up will help you to sprint through some of this bullshit, like these literal hoops that you have to jump through, and some wands that you need to normally wait for the openings before passing. Then you've got another mini-boss battle with this guy. It's the same shit as earlier, only this time he teleports around the room and throws playing cards. Stomp him out, and take the escalator up to the roof where you'll face the boss, the crazy babysitter lady. She'll drop luggage down at you, which you can send back up to her to counterattack. Marge helps by pushing away about every other bag, which kind of takes away your only attack, but I guess it helps to keep the pace of her attacks down enough to give you an opening, so it is what it is. After taking her out, you head to the Krusty Land amusement park to prevent these aliens from taking balloons, which is the next target for their collection. There are 2 balloons right away you can grab, and then you'll meet these tiny men that jump straight up. Run underneath them, and there are some carnival games you can play here for 1 coin apiece. You'll get an extra life if you win any of them, so it's worth the investment to rack up lives here, especially for the next level coming up. You've got a game where you gotta shoot 3 heads in a row, a number wheel where you're gonna want to use the magnet to rig the results, another shooter where you need to hit 3 of the same colored balloons, and a shooting gallery where you need to score 100 points in under 10 seconds with 20 shots, whichever comes first. The white ducks are 10 points, targets are 20 points, stars 30, and red ducks 40 points. After the games, there are 2 more balloons on this next 10, and then you've got this asshole kid throwing bombs at you. Take the balloon from this guy and grab the slingshot so you can shoot this punk down. You can also use this to shoot down balloons that periodically float around that are too high to reach. They show up all throughout the stage, so there's plenty of them, just mind your ammo. Although you do get a generous amount, plus you will find additional slingshots throughout the stage to refill, so don't worry too much about it, just don't get trigger happy with it all throughout the stage. Now if you shoot the balloon this guy is floating with, he'll roll towards you, so be ready to avoid him. Speaking of avoiding, there's this ladder you can climb where if you jump off the top and time your landing right, you'll hit the bell and get some coins. But you not only have to land this perfectly, but you also have to evade this douchebag's bombs again, which is even more problematic when you don't have much room to maneuver, and the closer you get to the top of each screen, the less time you have to react, so fuck this. 2 more balloons on the next 10, and then you've got this chick on the dunk tank throwing bombs at you. Hit the target to sink her ass in the water. You'll get another slingshot soon after, there are 2 more balloons, and then you'll enter the funhouse. You get a mini game right away where you have to open all the doors in 30 seconds and you'll get 4 balloons as a reward. Opening or closing a certain door will cause a reaction in a specific set of doors. It's like a fucking Rubik's Cube. It's not necessary to get this thing solved, but it helps knock that balloon count down. Mess with it until you get it right, but if you don't, fuck it and move on. Sprint jump over this pit and onto the platform here, and the pipes below will blow air, keeping you afloat. But they'll alternate from left to right, which ones are active, so you'll have to get the timing right and adjust your position in accordance with the rotation. Climb up these platforms and drop down into the crusty mouth for a bonus area that'll give you some coins and balloons. You'll exit the funhouse soon after, and you'll find another slingshot. Grab these 2 balloons on the tent, and hop onto the Ferris wheel. Just watch your landing so you don't fall into the pit. Drop down the center to get an extra life, and sprint jump across, get back onto land. If you're not confident in being precise with jumping, skip it. An extra life isn't worth dying for. You'll reach the end soon after, and if you haven't collected enough balloons, there will be a slow but steady stream of balloons that float by, so as long as you still have the slingshot and you're not running out of time, you should be good. The boss is Sideshow Bob, who just hops around. The only real difference in his pattern is whether or not he takes longer jumps. Run underneath him if he gets too close. Otherwise, keep your distance and jump on his feet when he's stunned. Lisa will help you by dropping bowling balls on him from a swing that's suspended under something unclear. After landing enough shots, he's done for, and the Space Mutants are getting increasingly pissed, but they found that they can power their machine using exit signs from the Natural History Museum, so that's where we're off to next. There's an exit sign right above you to start, but you can't reach it. You can, however, shoot the signs. You can do so with the dart gun up here. So head this way to the display case and sprint jump your way across to land on the blank painting frame. Get the gun and shoot the exit sign. Watch out for these infrared lasers. They'll sometimes be in one spot like this, or they'll alternate when there's 2 of them. Or in this pattern of first one from the bottom, third, second, and then fourth again before starting the rotation over again. Jump when the very top one is switching over so you don't get hit. Also, you can get the extra life and anything else that you'll find in these display cases by jumping repeatedly on the glass to break it. There's another exit sign by the door here, and after passing the spiders, climb the tree and launch yourself to get a gun refill. Just watch your landing because the spiders will be hanging around. You can despawn them by moving the screen if you need to. Climb the tree to launch yourself over the quicksand, and then you've got to pass this lake by hopping on these crocodile heads. It may remind you of Pitfall, but don't worry because they won't open their mouths. What you do have to worry about is the fact that you're playing Bart versus the Space Mutants instead of Pitfall, because then you would be enjoying yourself. But what you actually do have to worry about here is landing this shit. Remember me talking about the small platforms earlier? Yeah, this is just the beginning. To make matters worse, you have to use this tiny fucking space that feels 2 pixels wide to maneuver yourself between the falling rocks. Yeah, you have to move like a friggin' millimeter. When you get to the end, launch yourself over the spider to land, and quickly move while dodging the coconuts so you can shoot the monkey throwing said coconuts. Launch yourself across for a gun refill, and then you'll face a man-eating plant that spits at you. It takes a little while between spit jobs. Use this time to stomp on him. Just make sure to give yourself some distance in between stomps in order to get away from his attacks, and after a few shots you'll take him out. There's a sign to the left of him you can shoot, but the one on the right you'll need to use the display case ahead to give yourself a boost back to reach it with your gun. Get the invincibility from said display case, use the next one to scale up here for a gun refill, and then there's another sign to the right of that you'll need to use the painting to reach. After another laser show, you'll have to spell Jehovah on these stones. Actually, you'll need to jump on the red platforms as they light up, but it'd probably be easier to spell Onomatopoeia in the Last Crusade than landing these jumps without slipping. Don't worry, it gets worse. They jerk your chain by sending you backwards a couple times, and when you think there's still one more to go, nope, that's it, you've got to launch yourself. And since these red blocks are only temporary, you're bound to drop if you wait a tad too long. So take your time with landing them precisely, and also hurry up so you don't get caught up in the wash. And oh yeah, launch yourself at the end without overshooting at the same time.
Good luck.
It's just gonna get worse. Now you've got the Mega Man-esque disappearing blocks while these snakes pop out of the ground. Landing correctly is bad enough, but now you gotta watch this shit too. At least the ones that appear above your head are accessible. You don't bump your head like in Mega Man. But like Pitfall, you'd rather be playing Mega Man unless you're mentally ill. Make the launch, and finally you can take a break from platforming. Jump over these snake heads, work your way between these spear booby traps when there's an opening, and then you've got a weird puzzle where you have to smack one of these 3 warrior statues to get an artifact. You'll grab it and raise this lever out of the ground with each one you grab. The statue is randomly rotated around the horn, so just keep grabbing them until you get them all. Just watch out for the falling spiders. Once you raise the lever to the optimal level, which you won't get any indication of whatsoever until you realize there are no more artifacts left and you've been jumping around like an idiot, you can smash this thing and move on to the next area. At least once this lever finishes slowly sinking into the ground while all these fucking rocks fall out of the ceiling. Stay on the ground, don't jump at all, and maneuver your way between them. Soon after that is a mummy mini-boss. It'll fire a rap at you. Jump on him a few times to unravel him, and in the next segment you should be able to get the last of the exit signs and Homer letters. Use the display case to go back for a gun refill, and to blast the exit signs as you jump across, and grab the invincibility in the display case to help. There's another exit to the right of the case, and then you'll have to use this little rock that flows down the river of tar as a boost to get across. So yeah, another shitty platforming experience in this stage. But don't worry, it gets worse before it gets worse. Now you're scaling the skeletons of dinosaurs across a moving tar pit. Jesus, this museum is the real deal. Use the flatter looking areas of the skeleton to walk on, otherwise you'll fall. And same with the tails. It's not very clear at first glance, but there it is. Also use the heads as a mini raft to get across. What really turns this to shit are these prehistoric birds that get in your way. Wait for them if you see them, and backtrack to the last dinosaur platform if you have to until there's an opening. It sucks, but it doesn't suck as hard as dying does. Then you'll reach another mini-boss, a fucking live T-Rex. This museum is insane. Here you have to hop on this area, jump up on his head, and then get back down so you can rinse, wash, and repeat. Very self-explanatory, right? Just watch out for 2 things. Number 1, the periodic rocks or whatever it's spitting at you. And 2, your footing after landing your attack. You can easily bounce off, so hold off after each jump so you can properly position yourself. It won't let you attack until you get back off the ground. After dealing a few shots, there'll be another exit sign here for good measure and some security guards if you haven't gotten Homer's help yet because the boss is up next. After all that insanity, you deal with Marvin Monroe, and he just drops this glob on the floor and it crawls along the ground at you. Simply jump over it and smash his head a few times. This boss is so easy, I can't believe it's in the late stages of the game. It's either a mistake or the game is just fucking with you at this point. You don't even need Homer's help, but you might as well use it. He drops some glob on the ground to fuck with his footing, but again, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. So now it's on to the nuclear power plant where the mutants are hunting radioactive rods to charge up their machine. The power plant has 5 main floors, plus the 1-room basement, and transitioning between these floors isn't as smooth as it should be. The elevators are workable enough, press B to open it up and then navigate by the light which floor to go to, but the stairwell is a little more awkward. You gotta press up to enter the door, then B and the direction that you want to go, up or down the stairs, and then down to get back out onto the floor. I know the controller has a limited amount of buttons, but this really could have been simplified. Anyway, it's not a linear stage. The goal is to collect 16 rods and bring them to the basement to load them up on this thing. Once you get all 16, you're done with the level and done with the game. There's no final boss. There are 3 elevators and 2 stairwells total. The center elevator, which you'll come across right off the bat, spans all 5 floors. but you're sometimes cut off by walls on some of the floors and can't get to the far sides of every area. There are also elevators on the west side that go between floors 2 and 4 only, and another on the east side that go between 1, 3, and 5 only. There are stairwells on the far east and far west, but again, you're not going to be able to traverse an entire floor from one side to the other without changing floors on the way, so it's kind of a maze. Some of the walls are locked off by doors that require a 2-digit numeric password. Boy, Mr. Burns is cheap, only 2 numbers. That's the kind of thing an idiot would put on his luggage. Lisa will appear in places to give you the combination to the doors on that specific floor that you're on. You can just cycle through every number. It's only a 2-digit number, so there are only so many possibilities, but that is tedious as balls. Marge will show up to take the rods you're carrying straight to the basement, and you can summon Homer by using the donuts you'll find here, and then throughout the stage to stomp out all the enemies on the screen. More importantly is Maggie. When you see her, take note of her location. She'll be crawling around somewhere. She won't do anything for you at first, but toward the end she'll play a major role. There are no aliens disguised as humans in the stage, so no need for x-ray glasses, no coins to collect, and no letter tokens to get a family member's help. They're all here helping by default. Okay, so onto the stage. First go right, walk under the aliens, and grab the rod up here when there's an opening. Lisa is here to give you the combination to the door on floor 1, which is 14. Now go all the way to the left, carefully slipping by the mutants, which by the way, these small aliens in several variations will make up basically all the enemies in the plant. Anyway, there's a rod all the way down this end. Grab it when both aliens are moving slowly. Go up the stairwell to floor 2. There's an extra life you can reach by climbing up on the fire extinguishers. Although strangely, these aren't always platforms elsewhere in the stage. It's confusing. But anyway, a little to the right and there's another rod against the wall behind these mutants. Go back up the stairs to floor 3, grab the donuts, and back up the stairs to floor 4. Grab these donuts, and then back up to floor 5 for a rod against the wall. Now you've got the max of 4 rods. So go back down the stairs to floor 1 and to the center elevator. This is the only way to get to the basement to store the rods. Now take this elevator up to the 2nd floor, head left, and Lisa will give you the combination to floor 2, which is 32. Before bothering with that though, keep heading left to the west side elevator up to floor 4, where heading left will lead to a rod. And Lisa gives you the 4th floor combination 41, and there's another rod to the right. Now go back down to the 2nd floor, make a stop at the center elevator to drop off the rods in your possession, and then back up to the 2nd floor. Continuing east, and you'll hit the door where you'll want to enter 32 to unlock. Keep heading right till you get to the stairwell, go up to floor 3, get the rod in here, and then up 1 floor to 4. Keep heading left, enter 41 into the combination, and there's another rod in this closet. Go back and take the stairs up to the 5th floor for some more donuts, and then down to floor 1, and there's a rod here. Now even though you're not maxed out on rods, go back up the stairs to floor 2 for another drop-off, totaling 9 rods altogether. Now go back down the stairwell to the 1st floor where you last left off, and to the left is the east side elevator. Take it to the 3rd floor, where to the left you'll get a rod, and also the combination to the 3rd floor from Lisa, which is 11. And then to the right is another rod. Go back up the elevator to the 5th floor, grab the extra life, and then there are 2 rods, one on each side. And Lisa will give you the 5th and final combination, which is 21. Go back down to floor 1 from here, and then back to the stairwell up to 2. So you can hit the center elevator to the basement and store the rods. Take the center elevator straight up to the 5th floor, head left through this door, enter 21 to advance, get the rod, and although there's still 1 more left, you need to bring this one down to the basement first. This is because you found all 15 of the rods that you possibly can, at least until you retrack Maggie down, because she's got the last rod. But how the hell was I supposed to know that? Go back to wherever it is you found her, and press B while making contact with her to get the rod and end the game. You get a cutscene of the Space Mutants retreating, and Bart getting his head carved into Mount Rushmore, even if he never served as president. That would do it for this game, but not the series. Despite how bad this was, the Simpsons brand alone led to enough sales to warrant a sequel, but we'll get into that another time. And that'll wrap up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.